Today on this TED Talk, the subject of this TED Talk is going to be becoming involved with caring for our planet. Now, I've talked a bit already in the TED Talks, the Tim Talks. I've talked already in the Tim Talks about the art of being involved in nature by building a personal relationship with the earth. And that is by far and large the most important thing. But I want you to know that the more you open up, the more you become aware, the more you work on your spiritual side of your connection to nature, the more you're involved personally with our planet, the trees, the water, all the mountains, you name it, the flowers. Right now the flowers are amazing. It's spring here in Mount Shasta. The more you do this, the more sensitive and open you become, so that you not only see all of the wonderful things in nature more and more and more, I mean highlighted more, particularly as you bring your senses alive more and more, but you also see all of the damage to nature, all of the wounds to nature. And as Aldo Leopold said, is we are living in a society that wants to pretend that there's no problems when the wounds are all around us to our world. And it's true. We're living in a time when we almost have 8 billion people on the world. You know, back even 20 years ago, there was so much fewer people. And going back then, I mean, they say in 1900, there was about 2 billion people on the earth. And at that point, even if we lived completely unconscious, the earth could probably handle us being abusive to her. Now, with 6 billion more and growing, we simply can't treat the earth poorly and get away with it. There's consequences. I just read an article in Time magazine, just saddened me greatly. There's a global warming related drought on the Navajo Indian Reservation in Arizona, and a horse herd of 200 horses went to try to find the last water hole. They walked in it to get the water out in the middle that was draining out, and they all got stuck in the mud, and 200 of them starved to death, stuck in the mud. And this is just one of a zillion stories that you're going to be hearing now, and that's a minor one in the overall picture. You know, the melting of our glaciers and our ice caps, and the changing in temperature, the diseases that can be moving around from that, and it's just, I mean, it's endless. And the more sensitive you get, not only are you going to see all the problems, but you're going to read more, study more. And what do you do with it? You have to find a place to carry it within your being and not let it ruin your life. And that's tough, because I'm asking you to become sensitive and open, and yet find a way to harden your shell to the problems. And it's a tough thing to do, but every single one of us earth lovers has to do this. We can't shut down our feelings. We have to be the ones to lead the way. If we don't keep it in the forefront of our communities, what's happening to our planet, then we are doing an injustice. So what do you do? First and foremost, I think, you have to make your life about caretaking for the earth. So you have to be involved in making things better. You have to be involved in the good. And that means going out and getting involved with environmental groups, bringing back creeks, bringing back meadows, building trails, taking people on walks, appreciating nature. Some of you might feel called to do direct action, to lay your bodies down in front of loggers and tractors and things like that, and stop old growth forests from being killed. I mean, I don't think an old growth tree should ever be killed anymore. Save them. Get involved. Get out on the boats and help the dolphins and the whales, Send money, if you have it, to environmental groups. Research it and see where it would be best spent. If you can, if you develop yourself in your life to a point where you have some money, buy a piece of land and keep it wild and caretake it. Make it your own national park. I have a great belief in the power of personal land ownership when we take care of the land and keep it wild for wildlife. You have to be a part of the solution, not the problem. And that means commitment. You know, in our school, we have this term. We like to say, be of service. Help when help is needed. Well, our earth needs help now. Not yesterday, now. Not tomorrow, now. Right this minute, our earth needs help. So you want to be of service, a person that makes a difference in the world? You do it because you love the earth. You're not doing it for money. You're not doing it for fame or glory or power. You're doing it for the earth. Do it now. Get involved. Use your money, buy land, donate to organizations, physically get out and work. One of the great things about getting out and working is you can get the community involved that you live in, and you can make new friends and make a huge difference. We often in our school have community service day projects where, you know, let's say we have a class of 20 kids. Get them out in the woods and get them doing some earth caretaking work. 20 kids in 2 hours can do more work than I can do in a week, easy. And not only that, but we have fun doing it. And where do we learn that? We stand in front of one of our incredible ant nests. We look at them working and we go, what's the lesson from the ants? Let nature be the teacher. And what it is the ants say, one for all and all for one. They work for each other, for the community, and themselves. And in the process, they get the job done. And it's miraculous what ants can do. If we work like ants, if we apply ourselves like ants, there's nothing that can stop us. And we can have fun in the process, find great joy in it, satisfaction, and it will help to mitigate that pain and suffering that we witness happening to our planet. And we'll actually start to be able to identify and see good changes. That's another thing that you need to do. Balance out your world. Don't just read bad news. Don't just find bad things. Look at all the good. There's so many things changing for the good now. So many developments happening in science and in laboratories to help the earth. There's so many new parcels of land being saved out there on the planet. And the oceans, there's so much work being done to restore them. Remember to be a part of that and identify it and let it help you. Our land is calling you. The earth is saying, you are an earthling. Come and help. I need your help. I want your help. Heed the call. Help the earth to heal herself from the blight that is humankind. And in the process, maybe humankind can wake up a little and learn to live in a way that is healthy with our planet. Truly, getting involved in this kind of way is that I think one of the answers to the future of human life on this earth. It's the one thing that could unite all people from all countries, all religions, all political beliefs to come together for the greater good. Save our planet, our home. I really believe that. I think one day there'll be an awakening and it could happen. I'm holding out for it. I'm doing my part to make it happen. I want you to do your part and you'll feel better. And don't forget about the little world, the world that is at your feet. You can be a caretaker and make a difference, helping the frogs and the toads and the insects and the mice and the squirrels and the little birds. You can help the plants grow. It doesn't always have to be big, massive things. Sometimes just how you walk down a trail can make a difference. Don't step on something. Just how you drive your car a little more consciously. Don't run over something. Help when help is needed. If you see an injured animal, help it out. There's every day nature, as our teacher, gives us opportunities to be heroes. The question is, will we do it? Will we wake up and do it? There's this great poem I love. It's about a young man, an Indian man who was riding with his grandfather and in a car, and it was a summer day, and there was a cold sleet rain that came, and these toads were migrating across the road and getting run over. And the old man stopped to help him. And here's how the poem goes. His grandson observed him when he was a kid. The old man must have stopped our car 24 times to climb out and gather into his hands the small brown toads, blinded by our lights, leaping live drops of rain. The rain fell in a mist about his great white hair, and I said, "Grandfather, hurry, get back in. We have things to do. We have places to go." But leathery hands, full of wet brown life, knee deep in that summer roadside grass, he just smiled and he said, they have places to go too. Now, my question to you is, would you stop for the toads? That's a moment that literally could be a defining moment in your life where you don't care if you're going to get dirty, you don't care if you're going to be late, you don't care if you're on the side of the road. You just simply stop because it's the right thing to do and help the toads across the road. Now, the other question would be, are you aware enough that you would see them going across the road? If not, one of the biggest things you have to do is spend more time in nature building your awareness. And that's going to be one of the next Tim Talks, how to build your awareness more deeply. But underneath it all, there has to be this understanding within your own being that you are the type of person that are willing to do what it takes to help our planet. And that simple energy, if you're committed to it, if you believe in it, that simple energy of I am an earth keeper, I am an earth caretaker, I am willing to do what it takes, that simple energy will set off a chain of events that will offer you opportunities to be a hero for the earth every single day. Now, another thing that kind of goes along with that poem I just said is there was this naturalist in Florida, and this is a true story, Lauren Isley, and he was walking down a beach and he noticed this crazy guy jumping and running around doing crazy things. He was curious. He wanted to go down to see him, but he thought, oh, maybe the guy is truly crazy. So he did go, and as he got closer, he noticed it unfolded before his eyes. There had been an extremely aggressive high tide that night, and it washed tens of thousands of starfish up on the beach. Then it went out quickly and left them stranded, and they were baking in that Florida hot sun as that beach heated up. And this man was jumping around, trying not to burn his own feet, grabbing them and throwing them back out into the ocean, trying to save the starfish. And when the naturalist came up to him, he had one in his hand, and he said, hey, it's wonderful work, but come on, you can't possibly make a difference. And the guy held the one starfish up, and he said, it makes a difference to this one. And that is what I want to keep reminding you of. Make your relationship with nature a personal one. Don't make it outside yourself like you're at a museum looking at it. When you look, you want to get to the point where you're so committed to caring for the earth that you realize you are the earth. You are not a person separate from it. You are the earth. And what befalls the earth befalls you, your family, your community, your country, your world. It's all related. The timing may be different for how things are affected, but in the end, it's all about the earth and how we care for it. And it starts right at the ground you're standing on. What are you doing to make a difference? The other thing you can think about is how are you living your life? Drive less if you can. Ride a bicycle more. Buy food that is raised in a better way, in a healthier way for the earth. Grow your own food as much as you possibly can, because that is one of the ways that will get you the closest to the earth, is growing plants for food. That is the incredible way to be close to the earth. Think about it for a second. You plant that seed, you start it, you water it, you nurture it, it grows up, you watch it along the way. You protect it from insects and squirrels and rats and things that want to eat it. It flowers, it gets fruit. You eat the fruit. You become the plant. You become the earth. And the full cycle, the full circle happens with this process. Being a gardener is like a middleman or a middlewoman with the earth and what lives on the earth. It's a true gift that humans have, that we can take seeds and grow them and make them into food and eat them. It's one of our gifts. It's an incredible way to be in relationship with the earth. And it can also begin to open you up to the elementals, the other layers of existence and other beings that live out there, which will be another Tim Talk down the road, is learning to feel the presence and see the presence and experience the presence of other beings in other levels of existence, like what we have often heard about, these elemental beings. So much can come out of this commitment if you are truly committed to it. So Think about it for a minute. Another thing you can do is there are so many wonderful books published now on these subjects and how you can help the earth. Read them, study them, write your own stories about it. You know, that's another thing. It just popped into my mind. You can write. Go sit in the woods and write about your love for it. Photograph it, paint it. Express your love of the earth by using these gifts that we have: writing, art, photography, storytelling about your experiences with the earth. It brings it alive within you. It makes it more personal. You own it more. When the earth gets hurt, you feel it, you see it, and instead of backing away, it drives you to action. So remember this. Walk your talk. If you love this earth, become a part of the good. Find a way for the rest of your life, every single day, to do something good for our planet. Every single day to do something good for our planet. And you will be filled with the love that only the earth can give you, and the connection that only the earth can give you. And in that love and connection, your life will transform. Ho!